Welcome to another episode of the Horns Down Podcast. A little bit early today, right? Y'all see who I'm with. Y'all see this guy right here.
Yeah,
One of my favorite YouTubers. No, you know what? My favorite YouTuber.
No, you went and got the CM Punk of OU fans. Some people love me, some people hate me. That's what you got.
Well, I'm one of the people.
I hate that guy.
I'm one of the people that love you. So y'all gonna catch us after this intro.
You know, there's a lot of great OU podcasts, but there's only one where the horns are always down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Horns Down Podcast.
All right, people, y'all already know what it is. The Horns Down Podcast is people are coming in here, like, subscribe, share, follow, do all of that stuff. That's cool. That's great. But today we got Sean Forster with us today at Onikuno on Twitter. But I'm going to give the floor to him and let him just tell y'all where y'all can find him at and all his content.
Pretty much the same thing on YouTube. It's a username I've had since high school when I was a dweeb, and I just never changed it. And I'm 40 years old, and I still got it. So I'm stuck with it, I guess. I guess I could change it right now with display names or whatnot, but it is what it is.
Hey, man, look, regardless, we got him on the show. Got to give this man his flowers. All his videos. Definitely love the rants. Definitely love the updates. All the craziness. Speaking of that, I cannot wait to talk to this guy about a certain team down south. All right. Okay.
Listen, that's so far away still. Come on now.
Oh, no. I know. But
so
still,
far away.
But still.
I'm going to be, I'm going to be there, right? I'm going. I'm booked. I'm going. So I will be in attendance.
Look. We'll get to that. But open up the show to go ahead and get to what's in front of us right now. This weekend we go to Cincinnati.
That's a conference game too, isn't it weird to say that out loud?
It's a conference game. We haven't been there in a while. I think the last time we played them was actually there, right?
No, well, we played them at what was the NFL stadiums where we played them at. We didn't play them at Nippert.
Yeah,
So what is it? Paul Brown or something? I forget what it's called. Yeah. I just remember the Bengals logo on the field, and because I was reminiscent today, I remembered the biggest play I remember was in the second quarter when Jonathan Nelson and Quentin Carter ran down that receiver he was destined for 6, and they just kept pace, and Jonathan Nelson just winded up and punched that ball out, and Quentin Carter went and recovered it in the end zone for a touchback. So that kind of that killed all their momentum to take the lead, and it was that 2010 OU team is a team I always point to. If you're ever having a down year, can we just have a 2010 year where we gut out some W's, we don't win them all, but win the conference? That's my baseline team, man. It's all right, you have solid quarterback play, you got the established wide receiver, you have the hot freshman receiver, you got an established running back, an okay O-line, defense got a few playmakers. Let's go win some games. So that's always been my mentality for this year's team. Mm-hmm. Just give me a quarterback, a receiver or two, an established running back, solid O-line. Let's go out and win some games. But we're still trying to figure out exactly what this team is, I guess.
Yeah.
But I like what I see so far, with a few question marks.
I like it. I love some things. I like some things. I'm not happy about some things, but for the most part, it's been consistently good, at least, I guess you could say.
We're holding people under 20 points, whether it's a 0 or just whatever it may be. I'm going to say this out loud and jinx it. If we hold Cincinnati under 20 points, 19 and below, it'll be the first time an OU team has done that since 06.
Oh.
So
I just knocked on wood for you.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the game. Man. So I'll just open up a tad bit with this right here. So I watched the Pitt game pretty much. I watched the highlights from that. From both sides. I looked it up on YouTube from both sides to see what was going on. I watched the Miami of Ohio game.
That's the one I kind of caught a little glimpse at.
They offensively, it's not necessarily that they even try to get him out there to run, which I figure that they're going to try to add that element to this game as far as Emory Jones. But they like to try to overload some sides, and they like to do a lot. It's kind of reminiscent of, I mean, it kind of resembles Kansas almost. They love to kind of get those bunch formations and kind of go out there in those tight formations as well. They got a nice running back, in my opinion. You got to wrap him up, or he's gonna try to burst through that hole. He sees a hole, he's not dancing, he's trying to hit that. I don't think he has breakaway speed, but he does have some speed to him. Wide receiver wise, they have a pretty good core, man. It's just all about Emory Jones. What kind of Emory Jones are you going to get? We got to turn him into a passer. Defense.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's basically what I was going to say. It's like, I think if you force them to try to throw the ball, because if there's one thing OU has done exceptionally well this year, it's stop the run.
Yeah.
I think Dejon Terry's been an excellent addition to this D line. He's just a big old dude who just gets in the middle, and it's not pretty. It doesn't make a great highlight reel, but we've missed so badly having guys in the middle who can just like stuff and stuff runs and just like make like you're lucky if you get a 1.5 yard gain. You felt like you accomplished something against that line. That's what we've missed for a long time. So he's like, a lot of people are talking about other players, and we'll get to them in a second, but like a guy like Dejon Terry has been invaluable to this team.
Yeah, him, Cole, Kelly, Lalu. I mean, Halton at times, man. Halton, when he's got a chance, they've all looked good out there. I saw.
Grayson Halton has been, he's been so.
You saw Gilliam out there. You feel like, I mean, you've seen some things from Lacey as well. You feel like they have, quote unquote.
I'm glad Lacey's out there. I know there's been rumors about his health and everything, so I'm really happy he's out there and contributing. Mm-hmm. So definitely happy that he's out there. But yeah, for the most part, that was like kind of one of the bigger question marks, in my opinion, for the defense is the line. I just wanted the line to be solid this year, and so far they have been.
Yeah. So. What are your thoughts as far as, just give it to me both ways? How do you think that they're going to try to attack us, and what do we need to do to be successful against them to basically try to shut down that offense?
Just kind of just keep doing what you're doing. If you're OU, just stay in your lane. Danny Stutzman runs the show. If they try to run it, if they try to get clever with the run, like we're so much better at tackling in space. Like last year, it felt like we were almost there, but we played some really bad teams last year, especially Nebraska. So it gave the illusion we were really good. A lot of people are going to say that this week. This is kind of the game this week where we got to show that it's not just an illusion based off of last year, kind of like how things went. But like I just keep doing what they're doing. Just like stay disciplined, stay focused. And I know OU fans get freaked out if anybody gets a drive going on this defense. And I try to remind people, look, I don't expect Brent to go from the 90s overall to like top 10 the whole season. I'm not expecting top 10 this season. I'm expecting top 30 to 40. There's going to be games where it's like, oh, we suck again. It's going to be, it's going to be the water. Oh, we suck again. No, like as much as I love the dudes on the line, the beasts that we want are coming next year. And PJ Atabare is still a freshman. He's going to get better each week. But the guys we want to really build this thing around are going to be here next year. And, hopefully they can contribute early. But if you can continue, this is any team. If you can stop the run consistently, you're going to win a lot of ball games regardless. So I have no problem forcing Emory Jones to be a passer, because I've heard some people out there say, the secondary is a question mark for Oklahoma. Not me specifically. You can point to one or two guys. Like Reggie Pearson had a bad moment or two last week. We all can agree on that. Now he's hurt, and I hope he gets healthy and gets back soon. Makari Vickers, a true freshman, had a bust. That's a learning experience. But for the most part, we got a lot of guys out there are very talented. Key Lawrence, who has allegedly had a poor fall camp. You could have fooled me.
Yeah.
With Key. So guys are out there, like Peyton Bowen is just he's the best since Roy. Let's just come out and say it. He's gonna, if he keeps on doing what he's doing, we're gonna compare him to Roy at the end of the day. on just being an impact at safety. He's that talented potentially. So I'm just I feel like the first time I was like, yeah, throw against Peyton Bowen, throw against Key, throw against Gentry and Woody. See what happens. I'm excited to say that out loud. So
yeah. So two things that pop into my mind. I think first off, I do believe that they're going to continue the trend that we've seen. They're going to try to run a lot of quick pitch game is what I like to call it. They're going to try to get the ball out of Emory Jones' hands as quickly as possible. Second thing, though, now this kind of contradicts that point, but the second thing, I put 2 and 2 together probably about 15 minutes before I jumped on here with you. I forgot that the coach at Cincinnati is the same coach that was just at Louisville. And we've seen that offense so many damn times. What is it? People who watch this show and have seen me on everybody else's show, they know I love to use this word when I describe some offenses. It's very gadgety. It's a lot of working parts. It takes a while for them to get going. We've seen him with some really good quarterbacks. Last year, they thought that guy right there had the quarterback for Louisville last year had first round. Really, honestly, coming into the season, he had a first round grade, I believe. It takes time for them to get going because it's at times it could be very methodic. It could be it's meticulous. It's a lot of different things, man. It's a lot of working parts that have to work.
And when it doesn't work, sometimes it takes a while to try to get going. And last week when they couldn't get it going against Miami, Ohio, like you want to talk about some upset fans.
Yeah.
First loss that's a rivalry game for the first loss in like 15, 16 years. Ooh, the internet version of Cincinnati fans were not happy. They wanted people fired immediately. I know from what I understand, Bob Brisbillo is there from Center Scoop. He's already there because he's got family in like Ohio. That campus is ready. So don't be mistaken. They are like, it may not be a night game, but big news. Fox big sunrise kickoff is going to be there, as I like to call it. They're going to be ready. That is going to be, the emotions are going to be really high. They're the key for this team. This is the first real test. Can they overcome that emotion on the road? Because emotion can carry you for like half a quarter. After that, it's football. So
we'll see, Sean, you say that, but then this game is this has the Nebraska feel from last year because that
right. And then what happened? Emotion carried them for half a quarter. Then it was football.
Yeah.
And look what happened. So
life came.
Yeah. It's like emotion can carry you for a little bit, but then we actually got to run a game plan.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised because Luke Fickell had that thing going.
Yeah, Luke Fickell, like at Wisconsin. God, it's weird to see. Like thinking at Wisconsin just being a different type of offense. That's a whole different topic for another day.
That's a whole different.
But the other side of the ball for Cincinnati, there is a man named Dante Corleone, which is like that sounds like such a made up name, but it's real. But he's also real. So he's got a tag team partner there in the D line, and that's kind of like where I want to see how OU handles that because they have to tinker with the interior of the O line this week because I guess Caden Green got the call. From what it sounds like, he played very well when he got called in because hopefully Savion's okay. Savion apparently got a concussion. Wish him the best. But they didn't want to put Troy Everett there. They didn't want to try Jake Taylor or Schaefer. So they said they need to put their best 5 out there. And I approve of this move considering who will be playing against in a few weeks because you don't want to be still tinkering with your O line in 2 weeks. Hopefully Caden seems cool if he gets on the field. I think he can be back at tackle next year if he wants to go back to tackle. But they get that fixed, get the run established a little bit.
Got to.
I think there's like they kind of went the other extreme against Tulsa where it's like, I was happy they got Javonte Barnes and Gavin Sawchuk some touches. Great. They need them. You don't have to take Tawi Walker completely out of the game. It's like people argue with Tawi Walker is our best running back. I respectfully disagree with that opinion. I think talent wise, I think Javonte and Gavin are probably better, but they need Gavin's coming off a a hamstring injury. He needs the reps. He needs to get back into the flow of things. But I think Tawi's the type of guy because like short yardage has been an adventure this year. I need Jeff Lebby to stop throwing out that Belldozer cosplay skit he has Jackson Arnold doing.
Yeah, I don't know Jackson hurt.
I know the boy can run, but you're wearing number 10. You are not that number 10. All due respect. That was a large human being who could take hits. I'm not saying you can't, but please don't. Please don't get my because he throws such a pretty deep ball. Oh, it is pretty. But if just you can get like they averaged 4.2 a carry last week, so it's not like they're awful, but they're not like elite either when it comes to running the ball. So, but just little things got to work on. But wide receivers, we got lots of those apparently. So I'm very, very excited.
And see, one of the interesting points for me, something that I'm going to be looking for early, is how close to the line are they playing with their safeties and with their corners? Like, are they pressing, or are they really playing this true 3-3-5? I think it really benefits us if they do play that 3-3-5 and with the slants and all the little games that they try, the little schemes that they try to run, which is good for them honestly on their D line because it gets those guys in spaces, and Corleone and Briggs, they're in the backfield an awful lot. Yes, my thing is that I think that zone scheme that Levy wants to run, I think that is a great counter. You just have to, offensive line has to have their best outing.
They gotta execute.
Yeah, they gotta execute. They have to have for 4 out of the 4 games, this has to be their best outing to go out there and look good. It's going to be a good test because I think both of us have seen that. Not only from the Pitt game, but especially the Miami of Ohio game, it doesn't matter about their how many guys they drop back. You can still pass. You can still find it. You just have to have time. But your quarterback can make plays too. It's not like he's having to throw. There's all types of holes inside of that defense. You just have to be patient and find that. And your wide receivers have to be smart enough to be able to run their routes, but also be able to find that hole inside of that zone whenever they want to run that.
And the bad news for Cincinnati is like there seems like there's like a new playmaker at wide receiver emerging every week for OU. Like Nick Anderson has arrived now. Drake is. We thought, my God, we're going to lose Drake for multiple weeks. He's out there playing. Gavin Freeman is still a little missing in action as of late, but I think that Farouk is finally putting it together. And so just go down the list. Like Jane Gibson's made some catches. So there's too many, like there's a lot of available weapons that have like made some plays, have proven themselves lately. So there is not one. You can't just hone in on Marvin Mims and pray for the best. You take away Marvin Mims, like you can't do that with OU this year because, Farouk was still kind of figuring things out last year. Drake was kind of the other guy. And I know some people are trying to think that Drake would be our number one. Is like, all due respect to Drake. Drake can't be your number one. He needs to be that role player who's your second or third option. He's great when he's down by the goal line. You put up a little, a trick play, or not even necessarily a trick play, but just you get him in space or you get him in motion, like those work great. But with Farouk coming along, Nick Anderson starting to come along, Andrel Anthony is allowed to catch footballs now, unlike when he was at Michigan. He was only allowed to make plays against Michigan State one year, and they lost that game. So, but Andrel Anthony is allowed. Like we need to get him and Dylan a little bit more, just like one more step in unison, because if they just get one more step in unison, he's gonna be gone to the house instead of just catching and getting caught from behind. Like that's what I want. If like we can just get them just a little bit more in sync, and Anthony's gonna get a bunch of bombs thrown toward. He's gonna score a lot.
I'll go to this comment. I think James Starr said, I think we should start out with Anthony Anderson and Farouk in the slot to force them into a zone because they love and are very good at blitzing. I get that, but you
give me Andrew Anthony on a little shallow cross like he did against Michigan State a couple years ago. Beautiful. I would love to see it.
No, I agree with that. I agree with some of it. I kind of would say, let me start out with Stoops to kind of figure out what's going on. Let me find a soft spot real quick before I do all of that. The biggest thing I would say is that, I think they are pretty good at blitzing, but that's the one thing I'm comfortable with DG on, is that he's going to figure it out as far as the passing game. I have no problem with what he's done thus far this year. What I like him to be, like you said, a tad bit, in unison, a tad bit more in unison with some of the wide receivers. Yeah, some of those deep balls or whatnot, I think he can lead them a little bit more, because they have 2 or 3 steps on those guys, and they're coming back to
Dylan is who he is. I think at the end of the day, I can ask for improvement here and there, but I think Dylan is who he is. There is no it's not going to stop people screaming for Jackson to get out there and be the starter or play more, and he's going to get his reps because he needs to. Mm-hmm. But Dylan is good enough to win you a Big 12 championship this year. Yeah. I promise you that. Yeah. And because we've seen what this offense looks like when it's in rhythm. Outside of the SMU game where Levy tried to overcompensate too much with a run. And it's like, dude, and granted, some guys drop some balls, but it's like you need to get the ball. Your playmakers are at wide receiver this year. All due respect, you need to get the ball in their hands more often. So
So first off, I'm gonna say this right here. So Apache says Levy can really have some fun with the receivers this game. I hope so. I hope we're not coming out there.
I hope he does that every week.
Yeah, I hope he does it every week, because last week was fun. Arkansas State was fun. At times, it was a bit fun in the SMU game. Watching that game back, you're still saying, "Damn, there's some guys are just wide open." Levy is creative with his play calling, and his play calls are working. Man, guys are open. We just have to continue to hit them like we have been for the most part. But that SMU game, we can't have that again. We have to go.
That was the best team we played so far, and I'm kind of rooting for them to take care of TCU on Saturday, because just to validate, because everyone's had everyone who's undefeated right now, you could point to a game where maybe they like people are trying to pick SMU as the game OU struggle with, or that's a red flag game. It's like, I look at SMU was never in position in the second half where they had the ball in their hands with a chance to take the lead ever. Because when they cut it to 14-11, we went right down and scored. So OU was never in danger where it's like, SMU's got the ball, and if they could go, that never happened in the second half. So that's one of the few silver linings I take away from it. Okay, they answered. So, and but everyone, I can talk about everyone else at any given time, but for this game for Oklahoma is it's as mental as it is physical. If you get over this hump, I think the confidence is going to skyrocket for this team even more, because the talk is they were 3-0 last year, and and then the conversation, whether it's internal or just the local media, it's like, well, they were 3-0 last year. We all saw what the frauds they turned out to be. And if you go up to Cincinnati and, win or lose, I've told people on my channel this all the time. This team needs to go 5-0 this month. Regardless of how they do it, they will not get credit. People are starting to talk about Oklahoma a little bit. They're like, Oklahoma, they might do that. Chatter's starting a little bit, but it's not big enough to get so I just say, do not care about people talk about you. Yeah. Let people talk about Colorado. Let people talk about, chaos in the SEC. Let them talk about other things. I would love for this team to sneak up and just that's what I want Oklahoma to do this year if they can. Because let's be honest, we're gonna go home next week to Norman. Iowa State is total trash. Yeah, and it's self-inflicted wounds. They are I'm going to feel guilty. I'm going to need to donate to some sort of worthy charity if I watch the Oklahoma State-Iowa State game, because I will feel bad about myself as a human being for watching that game. I will need to donate to some worthy cause to make myself feel better for why am I watching these poor children play football?
So
I can't win.
So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna jump back. I'm gonna jump back for a couple more on the Cincinnati game. So let's go to our running back room. Who do you think has been? Well, obviously we could go off of the numbers. We can go off of some of the games, and I know Ty would be the obvious answer. Who is the running back that you think is hot right now, and what running back do you expect to see the most of Saturday?
To say hot is I think Javonte is a solid back for OU. He just needs to. I think the O line needs to play a little bit better, and he needs to make he can make some plays, but like Gavin Sawchuk has the home run speed. Again, it's just things got to start developing, and the holes got to open up. Again, I think right now it's by committee, but yeah, I would start Javon. I mean, Marcus May. I don't want to forget about Marcus Major either. But again, I think Marcus Major is who he is. I mean, I would love to get bowl game Marcus Major every week. We don't get that, unfortunately. We don't get bowl game Marcus Major. There's like you remember back in the old days where Quentin Chaney was great in Fiesta Bowls, but for whatever reason he would have these great Fiesta. Even we lost them, like like Quentin Chaney's our lead receiver. What? It's like it would just happen out of nowhere. That's kind of what Marcus Major is to me. It's like he's like the Quentin Chaney of running backs. It's like it's by committee. I agree with Lebby. Whoever has the hot hand, keep feeding the rock. But our big time running back, we want to see make plays. Again, he's coming next year. So Taylor Tatum. So if you're thirsty for a running back to look good in an OU uniform, making people miss and doing some great stuff, Taylor Tatum's your guy.
I'm still holding out for Barnes. I know my uncle's down there to come in saying, no, he's not that guy, but I'm still holding out for Barnes. But I think Sawchuk, man, I think this is a game where you can see Sawchuk have a really good outing.
I hope that hammy is good, man, because he's it's like that. Hopefully, it's not holding him back.
Hopefully is healthy at some point.
Give me that dude at the Cheez-It Bowl, but without the fumbles, and he's solid.
This is a game right here, especially against the 3-3-5, that would get him going because I mean, there's going to be holes there and a lot of holes there. Because I don't expect Corleone and Briggs to be in the backfield as much as they've been with Miami of Ohio, Pittsburgh, respectfully. But I just don't expect them to be in the
show some love to Pat Narduzzi, dang it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but I mean, all in all, for the Cincinnati game, man, I still think that they have. I think Vegas has the line at 14.5. I think you could easily see OU go in there and win probably by at the very worst. I think it's a 38-17 game. At the very highest, I think it's a 52-17 game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm my dad's favorite score is like 42-17. It's like we're in that ballpark with each other. OU has covered every week so far, so they're very, very good at doing that. So if you care about those things, I think I can legally bet in Florida now. I don't know. It's like the Republicans down here are kind of iffy about that. Anyway, the point, but it's just I like that it's an early kick. You don't sit around all day thinking about it. You just go in there and take care of business. And I wish the next week's game was a noon kick, but
I do too. I actually do too, man.
Why is Iowa State in prime time?
Prime time. Hell, it's on FS1. So that's
but it's you know what I mean. But it's on prime time. We always get these garbage games in prime time. Like we had Kansas a couple years back in prime. Like, why are we playing Kansas?
Bruh. As long as we're not playing on ESPN Plus, we're fine. I hate ESPN.
Well, guess what? That's we're gonna get. Everyone gets an ESPN. That's an annual thing now. We're always gonna get one ESPN Plus game. It don't matter. Like we're playing Maine next year. Guess where that's gonna be? ESPN Plus. So you want to watch the game against Maine? You're gonna be watching it on ESPN Plus. So the Longhorn Network will be going away.
Praise God.
Yeah, so it'll be merged in with the SEC network. So I don't know if they're gonna have like an SEC Austin now. I don't know if that's what they're just gonna here's your new logos and signs and gimmicks. Put them all up.
But yeah, man. No, I feel I have a really good feeling about this game. I think you can go out there and handle your business. Deshaun McCullough is going to be back. I'm interested to see how they put that wrinkle in the fold. Man, I'm still holding out hope that Harrington returns this year, man.
I think people are guessing, and this is a guess, that he might have a partial ACL tear.
Yeah.
Where it's partial, man, he could probably play on it, but do you really want to? Yeah. He's got something that's an either or, and that's why the conversation keeps going towards decisions being made. It's a ligament tear of some sort. It's a partial. So my advice to the dude, I would love to have him back as well. It's like, dude, get your surgery, get your hardship, come back. That would be my advice. Seriously.
Yeah. No,
That's
yeah, me and my uncle were talking about that early this morning. Actually, that's kind of been a word around there as well. It's like, hey, this is last year of eligibility, and I'm like, is it? I thought he had one more year, but
it is. But if you're out in game 2, go get your hardship waiver. I dare the NCAA to say no to that. I dare.
I would love to have him for the SEC.
Yeah. Plus, just like I'm trying to think who. I mean, Son will still be here next year because he's still young. But either way, it's like that's what I love about this team on defense. There's a lot of guys playing on defense that are just that are contributing. The younger guys are making mistakes, as we talked about Macari and whatnot. But there's guys out there making plays. Like we had 5 picks in a game. I don't care. It's Tulsa, but we had 5 interceptions.
Vickers made him play that game too. Him and Dolby made back-to-back plays on the same drive.
Yeah. So that's what's great. Like you're starting to see the jump a little bit, and there's a little bit of depth on the D line. There's a little bit of you feel better about the linebackers, and you think, oh my God, Kip Lewis is going to be a player at some point. I mean, he is now, I would say, but it's like even more so down the road. So it's like it's starting to click a little bit in certain areas, and I'm telling you, man, it's a weird year in college football. And my expectation, everyone says like nine wins or whatever. It's 9-3, or that's like the bare minimum, and that's kind of I'm like 9 to 10. I would like to get 10, but there's going to come a point in the season if certain things go our way in the next few weeks where the expectations change.
Oh yeah,
because it's a combination of you're playing a lot better than people thought you were, and the rest of you, everyone around you, are playing worse. And it's like, oh, expectations are going up, are they? And I'm like a take it 1 week at a time type of guy. It's like I kind of look at OU in a bubble, and I try to keep them in there. And it's like, all right, I was literally Bill Belichick. We're on to Cincinnati.
Rat poison.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Like Saban.
Yeah, no. As a fan, I'll talk about all the other things as well. But like for OU in general, it's like we're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah. So to close out the whole Cincinnati preview, I'll just say this, man. Like I said, I feel really good about this matchup. Very reminiscent of the Nebraska game, more so than
they're better than Nebraska. I'll give Cincinnati that. They're better than Nebraska.
But it's reminiscent of the Nebraska game last year, more so than it is the TCU game last year as well. I mean, that TCU game was just a perfect storm, perfect culmination of just a lot of things. I mean, hell, it wasn't even them at first. It was before Gabriel even went down. I mean, you fumble and what was it, Marvin Mims? What he fumbled after he caught it, he fumbled. I
vaguely remember. Listen, yeah. I had a hurricane kind of whisk by me at that point. So this is how sad my life was. I had to use my hotspot to get my ESPN like working so I could stream it through cable. It was so bad that it was buffering so bad that like when TCU was about to make a big run, I saw how big the hole was. And it's like, oh, that's about to be a touchdown, isn't it? And then it buffered. He's already in the end zone celebrating. I'm like, yep. So I was that dedicated to, I couldn't do a watch along, but I was like, I'm just going to watch this game. Like I'm dropping how much money for extra hotspot data for this or whatever. It's just, I was like, well, that was fun. And then the next week, it was basically, I compare it to like a Money in the Bank cash in, where, a guy's beating up like Brock Lesnar. We just got ambushed and we're in the ring. And all of a sudden, here comes the chicken shit heel with their briefcase. And the referee announces they're cashing in. And we got 49-0. That's basically what happened.
That is exactly what happened. We were reeling.
And they celebrating like they did something.
I was sitting there in the stands and I was tweeting out. Everybody started hitting me up. They're like, "You saying you think Gabriel's gonna play?" I'm like, "Hell, he out here on the field. He got his pads on. Never saw a light of day."
And then he starts taking them off. Oh my God, crap!
But but yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next subject. Though, next subject is going to obviously be we got Danny Okoye. Thoughts on getting that 4-star, which is honestly, I think in everybody's mind, a 5-star recruit. What's your thoughts on getting Okoye?
Well, I think it's a product of I'm paraphrasing Josh McCuistion the other night. If this was a year ago, we don't get him. And it's not because Brent Venables is a bad recruiter or whatever. It's just the fact that Danny admitted himself. He's like, I needed to see Oklahoma was on the right track. And he went to the Arkansas State game and he got reassured, okay, they're on the right track. They look like they're hitting on all cylinders. I know people were worried about Texas last second because they beat Alabama. But that wasn't really a concern because there was no murmurs or talk about that. So all the crystal balls were flying in. So he's just a freak athletically. I think, he'll have a kind of like this year. He'll like a lot of young guys are playing this year. He'll play a little bit next year, but it's about translating your freakish natural athletic ability into learning the scheme, into learning your role in the team. So you do that, he's going to be really good. Like Okoye, David Stone, which is a 3-star according to someone on a Texas website.
I saw that somebody from Texas. Hey, Corey Baker, I see you in here.
Hey, David Stone's a 3-star. I'm like,
what's up with y'all Texas guys, man?
I'm like, did I miss something? I was in an IMG practice. He was the last one out there and the first one to leave for practice. Last in line for drills. I'm like, was there a circumstance behind that? Like, because usually that stuff leaks out on IMG if you're a problem child. Maybe I'm wrong. So you're the only one who saw this. I was like, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying David Stone is impossible to become a bust because it has happened before. But everyone else would kill to have him. Yeah. Miami wanted him really badly.
Bama came trying to come back in late. I mean, Bama, yeah, come on, man. No, look, Danny Okoye, in my opinion, man, he's raw. But that's what Bates and Venables want. They want athletes that they can teach the position. That's what they're notorious for. From that time at Clemson all the way back to here, up to here now. That's what they've done with a lot of players, man. They've taken some freak athletes and just basically turned them into really damn good football players. And I'm excited for that. For me, it's about stacking the classes, but just the talent. I mean, we still got Taylor Wine over there that a lot of people are really excited about. 6'6", with the size, with the weight, and with the ability to bend and actually get to the quarterback. You have PJ Adebawara. I mean, come on, man.
I go Adebawara because I've been saying that forever.
Adebawara. Yeah.
Don't worry. Everyone will be forced to get his name right soon. At some point.
But yeah, no, I mean, a guy like that, those two guys opposite of, now you got your middle, Jaden Jackson, you got David Stone, but then also now you got a Okoye that you can put on the other side of that. Don't forget R. Mason Thomas.
We mixing up current and future players now.
Current and future players, man. I'm just thinking about guys that
you're going after everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, hey man, look, we got some guys on campus. We got some dogs on campus.
It is criminal that Jaden Jackson on most of the recruiting services is rated a 3-star. Yeah. I think that's criminal.
And I can't forget about the Wyatt Gilmore kid too, who everybody is saying is putting out some damn good senior film right now as well. So
he's up there in Minnesota. He's gonna show up and be like Brock Lesnar or something like that.
No, so yeah, I'm really excited about the prospects that we have, and then also, you can't forget they're going to go out there and probably get somebody in the portal, maybe one or two people on that. But yeah,
who knows who might leave Bama after this year? You never know.
Yeah, let us go. Or Clemson. I'd love to have Peter Wood across that line inside.
And they better win on Saturday. They better find a way to win Saturday, or it can get ugly for Dabo.
Yeah,
because Dabo's whole "I'm not using the portal" brilliant strategy. Great job, Dabo. Great job.
I'll be honest with you. I may have an upset in the game, but we'll talk about that later. But as we close,
just be happy that when Brent came back, he didn't have that same mentality. We ain't going to the portal. Oh shit, we're gonna suck. Excuse my language. If language is bad, I apologize.
And I think you're good. I think that he would have. I think that he, he talked about it this early this year. But no, to close out, just kind of some more recruiting bits. Have you heard anything else about as far as like what we're going to do? I think that
we're getting the kid from. I'm thinking we're gonna get the kid from England on the 12th. So that's kind of everyone else is kind of up in the air right now. We don't know like dates for certain guys. I know we're waiting for EPL. Eddie Pierre Louise, I think is who it is. He's a Tampa Catholic down here in Florida where I'm at. I think he's like kind of between whether he wants to stay close to home with UCF or, or come here. Grant Bricks is kind of the big, top 100 player offensive lineman up there in Iowa. He's deciding between Nebraska, K-State, and us. And I'm not being silly when I say this. It sounds like he's torn on whether he wants to be closer to home and maybe go to Nebraska, or do I want to go and play for Bill Beanbo and be an NFL offensive lineman? Like, I'm not saying that as a joke. That's like a real thing for him. Do I want to be closer to home and be closer to like, I could go play for Bill Beanbo because he puts guys in the league and they may not go first round, but look at the guys he puts in there. They contribute. They're legit players. So it's, I'm hoping we get Grant Bricks because you talking about stacking the D line, we need to stack the O line as much as we can too. So
a lot of people say that the kid from England, if he played in the States, he'd be higher than 3-star.
Well, you see, you have to look at the conversion rate from the UK because you know how like there's European pints are different from American pints and everything. So you had to have the conversion rate. So 3 stars over there is a 4-star over here and so forth.
Yeah.
People are putting the same bussy down there. That's a complicated one. If you forced anyone to pick today or forced me to, I would pick A&M, but there's chatter that A&M is, even if he picks A&M, they're not confident that he's going to stay with A&M. Emmett Jones working, man. Emmett Jones doing work.
I hear with Emmett Jones, it's more of just that relationship that he's building with that kid. And
everybody, like the 25 class is stacked already for a wide receiver. Like, if any, like I'm not saying anyone's leaving, but like if you needed to promote someone to say if we needed a new offensive coordinator or whatever, I would Emmett, are you ready? Wide receivers are killing it. That is like he might be one of the most valuable, like, blessing in disguise getting Emmett Jones for the wide receiver coach, man. It is just, we are stacking players, and that's what you need where we're going. And the 25 class, man, we might have some dudes.
I always butcher this name, but what about the I want to say the Bogankowski kid?
Boganowski? Man, his dad's a big K-State person, and that's kind of like you're fighting that battle tooth and nail. He's like super hardcore Wildcat. I keep forgetting we're in the running for him. I don't even like have him on my mind as like a guy we're going to get at this point. If he pops OU, great. He's a 3-star. People look at him. He's better than a 3. Like, there just doesn't feel any like real momentum of him making a decision. Like it is going to go OU. It's like you're like what's the word I'm looking for? I was trying to make a comparison to a classic league. It's like you're in a prison and you're cutting away with a spoon at the wall trying to break through or something. So, but yeah, I'm not feeling it for him right now. But you never know. We'll see what happens in a week or two. Things change in recruiting, but it feels like we're kind of set. Like we only have a few more spots left in this class, it seems.
Yeah.
So,
we have 24 commits already now.
Something like that, yeah. We might go 30 or something. I think you can go above or below.
Yeah, I think this being the last year. I think it's important to go ahead and take as many as you can.
Yeah. So but it feels like we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and there's still Enwinari hope out there. I'm just gonna go out and say it. Like, sure, why not? But I'm not gonna, lose sleep over it. So I do think that it does help a little bit that most of the guys part of the quote unquote power line are, they could put a little pressure there and see what happens. And, good job, K-State, losing to Missouri. Drinkwitz did everything he could to throw that game away, and he just couldn't take it from him. But oh boy, K-State might be a little bit more rougher year than they thought. We'll see. God, who's K-State got this week? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, who does K-State have this week?
Let's take a look. See, who does K-State have? Where are you, Wildcat logo?
UCF.
That's right.
UCF at home.
That's right, because we're talking about Cincinnati. Like UCF's there. I don't know if they got their quarterback back yet for UCF. That's the thing. So, I'll have to talk to my boy Eric about that. see what he's feeling. I don't think he's feeling it for UCF this weekend, but.
Hey, real quick, y'all. Hey, people are starting to come in. They keep coming in. Hey, go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow. Y'all see the names right down there.
Do those things.
Do those things. But yeah, all in all, man. Hey, I am more than pleased. I'll be honest with you. When it started with the Okoye, man, I had a friend that was kind of close to this situation. That's in Tulsa, and knows the kid, knows family members, stuff like that. Basically, all I can say is this right here. Little birdie told me that, hey, Tennessee all the way. Early on, it was Tennessee all the way. I mean, this was like
I actually believe that. I actually do believe that.
Before we even had the conversation, just the birdie told me, he's like, hey man, look, it's it's Tennessee's. It's like they're interested, but it's Tennessee's to lose right now. And that was before he took the visit. He took that visit, and it was kind of a shocker a little bit. And then Chavis did his thing. Chavis did his thing, man. He did his thing on that one. So
he is a cartoon character, that guy. But I appreciate that because he gets the job done. He and Todd Bates are salt and pepper getting the job done. Man, it's like we would have killed for half of the guys in this class for the D line. Like 5 years ago, if you would have told me we would have gotten Okoye, let's say Jane Jackson and Wyatt Gilmore, I'd be thrilled based on prior expectations. Oh, I get Nigel Smith and David Stone. Oh my God. It's like that. I couldn't believe that. But we had most of our fan base crying over Enwinari and Dominic McKinley. And it's like, guys, you do realize that most big boy programs don't get 2 5-star D linemen. They rarely do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a shot, but I figured, to me, David Stone was the one we were always going to get, even though it got weird at the end because they always do. It's 5 stars.
I mean, you got David Stone, Danny Okoye, Nigel Smith, Jaden Jackson, Wyatt Gilmore.
Nigel's the one I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
I think Nigel's going to be really good.
Nigel he has the look, the makeup to be him and Okoye. Those two are what you would see every year at Clemson while BB was there.
The one guy, N1 and McKinley, the one I was a little sad because it was just, there was nothing you could do about it, was a Janye from earlier in the year. Georgia was his dream school. Once they offered, it was kind of over. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's a dude I really wanted, because it felt like he was OU. He was OU all the way till Georgia offered, which is weird to say that. Why wouldn't Georgia have offered earlier? But it's just the way guys jump late and they go. It was like, I really wanted a Janye so bad,
man. But that conversation is still to be had, and that's what I've said all along.
And that beating Georgia out right now, that's gonna be tough. I mean, I know Georgia struggled a little bit on last Saturday, but they ain't out of any races yet. No.
Here's what I have to say: you win 9+ games this year, but especially if you win 10+ games this year, you can circle back and have that conversation. I feel like you
not with him. He said dream school, and Georgia is not just dream school. They're winning championships. I don't think I don't even think.
But then
you don't bother. You don't bother with that battle. It's over.
You hear some rumblings about, oh man, the staff. I'm always gonna be an OU fan. I'm gonna root. I'm just conversation.
But N1 was about dollars and cents and staying home. That like you can win that battle, I think, if you really, really want to. Just OU is not. We are not going to drop over $750K for anybody. Like that's quarterback money, bro.
Yeah.
All due respect, that's QB money. NIL is like freaking people out. I feel bad for people who think the sport is changing, or it's like the sport's the same on so many levels. You just see more stuff out in the open now, and it's just I feel bad for people who have this. The curtain was pulled back a little bit, and they say, "No, I don't want to see the seedy underbelly of the sport. It's always been there. We make documentaries about this stuff." So I just feel bad for them. Like, there's so many people who are like, "The sport I loved is gone forever." It's like, is it really?
No,
and
not at all.
I always say, my traditions are going away, and it's like, if it's an OU fan, it's like, what traditions are you losing? I'm serious. It's like we've whatever tradition.
Hold on. Speaking of that, you talking about what kind of traditions are there? So obviously, a little bit down south, you going down I-35, you'll find.
We ain't losing that one anytime soon.
Look, you'll find a place that's called Oklahoma State, or what we like to call in this podcast, Okie Light. So, have you not seen the message board tweet? The message board post that was tweeted.
That was a TLDR for me. I'm not reading all that. All I know is that these people are losing their damn mind because they lost to an NCAA 14 creative school on their home field.
Let me enlighten everybody out there if you guys haven't had it, because we could talk about it a little bit in open forum. Obviously, they put it out there on Twitter.
I know it's like the team is going to quit after Saturday or some sort of.
The team is going to quit after the Iowa State game, and they're all going to enter the transfer portal. I don't believe that.
You can't enter the transfer portal unless your coach is fired.
But
you can't.
What kind of bothers me about it is that some of the names that have came out, like I've heard from, obviously people know. After my JUCO, I went to OSU. I have a lot of connects there. Little birdie, I'll just call it that. Little birdie, couple little birdies have been chirping towards my way, and they've told me it's some smoke behind it, but it's not
say that Shetron's coming home. All right, you can bring your little brother with you. Just tell us the Shetrons are coming. All right, that's what you want to say. You want to say the Shetrons. We made a mistake. We're sorry. Do you have a spot for us?
So all jokes aside, so supposedly there's a rumored self-implosion that's supposed to be happening. I doubt it. I've heard as far as much as boosters are willing to pay Gundy's buyout. They're saying that it's about $25 million. I don't know. That's
a lot of money, regardless. People talk about Jimbo's buyout. $25 million is still a lot, even for OSU. Look, I ain't gonna miss Bedlam. I know people are crying over it. I'm not gonna miss Bedlam. I'm really not, because the only reason I cared about Bedlam is because finally we have a team that's kind of ranked that will get us noticed when we win. That's what Gundy was good for. He would get OSU good enough every other year. It's like, oh, good. OSU is ranked in the top 15-ish or maybe 10-ish. We could beat them and get a good victory on a resume. We don't have to worry about that where we're going now. Like, that's all. Like that's what OSU always was to me. It's like when you beat a team over 90 times, the rivalry's over. It doesn't exist. I'm sorry. You can talk about all the other sports you want, and that's fine. We can have those conversations. But look, for football, it's like there's been some exciting games, sure, but we're rivals just because we share a border in state. That's it. So we'll create something with Arkansas or. Yeah. Something with whomever,
Missouri or something. Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because supposedly that's what's going on.
I just find it entertaining on some level. It's just like because they've been chirping. It's like, good look at the SEC where you're all going to fall apart. And like their house is burning right behind them. It's like you might want to go check the stove because
hey, you know what? If it happens, me and you are gonna do a live stream together. We're gonna have a fire going behind us. So
just get the cartoon dog with a coffee mug. This is fine.
Say it's all fine.
This is fine.
It's a controlled fire. I mean, Gundy has basically almost sabotaged that team anyways. Like this year, I still don't know what the hell is going on.
I don't know what they're going to do if Gundy leaves because it's like he's literally the best coach they've ever had.
So check this out.
And
these are the names that have been floated around. Going around. This is what made me not believe the whole thing. Anyways, They said you're gonna love this.
Oh my god,
Gus Malzahn.
Oh, the Gus
and Kendall Browse. I said, ain't no way in hell.
As a package deal?
No, not as a package deal.
Okay.
Each one. I was like, Dana Holgerson makes no sense.
So Gus gonna leave Orlando where he can recruit the state of Florida. Because even the 3 stars down here are pretty good. Yeah, he's gonna do that. You need OSU needs to find someone. They need to find an up and coming coach who's ready for a challenge, who doesn't have to worry about playing OU.
Hey, I'll tell you this right here, Rhett Lashley. I've seen enough. Rhett Lashley, go get Sean Lewis. I think that would be a good move for Sean Lewis.
I'm trying to think of a young coach. Like, I would say go find a guy like Beamer, but he's at South Carolina. He ain't leaving that job.
Some people. Well, there's a lot of OCs out there, man. You can go get Phil Longo from Wisconsin. A lot of people are really big on. I forget what position he's coach. I think he's an OC. I'm not sure. For Texas Tech, was it Zach Kitty?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Like my give a care meter for OSU is going to go down so low after we play them. It's like,
yeah.
All right, see you later. I'm going to pay zero attention. Like, if you thought I paid little attention to you before, just wait till after we play you this year.
Austin Baker, that's a great one. Jeff Traylor, yeah. That was.
I can't think of a year where the schedule is so, on paper, looks so easy and workable. Like, Iowa State and Oklahoma State are bad. Like Kansas bad.
Yeah.
Like old Kansas bad. Kansas is like the new Iowa State. We're like, okay, they're going to give us we're going to go to Lawrence and they'll give us a game. I have no doubt about that. Like that will be a game. That's a game to circle. BYU, I need to see an offense first. Like, I'm sure defensively they're still solid. I need to see an offense for BYU. Before I get worried.
And that's the thing about Arkansas. Arkansas doesn't have the offense. They have some weapons, but I mean it's mostly KJ Jefferson, but they're not an offense that's going to make you pay. They're an offense that's going to give you a chance to stay in the game because scoring wise, if you get into the high 30s with them, 9 times out of 10 you're going to probably walk away with it.
If we go to Dallas and we do the thing, oh boy, it's going to be hard not to look at the latter half of that schedule. Go, where's the loss? I'm looking for it. Because if they go to Dallas and win, it's like I'm having trouble finding a loss. I would have trouble finding one.
Yeah.
But we have to do it first, obviously. If they don't win in Dallas, then it's a different conversation. But if they go to Dallas and win, it's like, like I said, Kansas on the road. That's the one I'd circle. That's the one. That's the one I would honestly circle. Go maybe that one, because everyone else, it's like maybe TCU at the end of the year at home, and they catch us off guard.
Provo would be all right. Would that be that game, man?
Like I know people are going to point this. You're jumping ahead of this. It's like it's a Thursday night. It's fun. We're having a conversation. Well,
speaking of that, let's go ahead and end it on this right here. We've been on here for almost an hour. Like I said, like, subscribe, do all the rest of that stuff. That's cool. Let's get to the week 4 matchups, some of these bigger matchups, and just kind of yes or no.
I haven't picked any games at all this year. I haven't picked any games at all this year.
Right, we're gonna pick some games. We're gonna pick some games.
We'll pick some games. All right.
So check this out. All right. So first off, Corey, if you're still in here, I'm gonna go ahead and look at you. There you go, right there. Corey, I'm gonna let you know. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Go ahead and go on this one. 6 p.m. game, sold out in Waco. Does Texas play down to their competition?
Wait, that's in Waco?
Yeah, it's in Waco.
Oh, that's right. That's in what because the Kansas is in Austin.
Yeah.
I think Baylor's there. If this was a Baylor from maybe last year, or the year before, Quinn Ewers will not. Quinn Ewers will try. He will try to fail upwards, but he will fail upwards. Texas will find a way to win. He will accidentally get the ball to Xavier Worthy in the fourth quarter and score a touchdown.
I just don't know, man.
I can't pick Baylor. I just as much as I would love to see Texas lose and point and laugh at them. I can't. Not this Baylor team. I can't do it. Kansas, they need to worry.
I like this guy. At least he's honest. I'm gonna say this right here. Texas should win this game by 30.
They won't. They're not going to win by 30. They won't do that. No. They'll win the game, but they're not going to win by 30.
If they win by 10, I can see that.
I have yet to see Texas look dominant against a team that's worth a damn. And you heard what I said. Because I have some thoughts on that Alabama team they allegedly beat. That was called Alabama. Those were some imposters wearing Alabama helmets.
So you got Texas?
Yeah, I got Texas. They'll win they'll win by a couple scores. They ain't gonna win by 30 though.
Well, you had a perfect segue. Ole Miss at Alabama. Does Kiffin finally get it done?
Ole Miss. I'm going Ole Miss.
Wow.
Does Alabama have a quarterback? Do they have an offensive line? Do they have wide receivers? If the answer is no, I'm going Ole Miss. I'm sorry. It's until proven otherwise, yeah, I got Ole Miss, man.
So Jackson Dart
may not be the guy that everyone thinks he was or wanted him to be when OU was trying to get him to transfer in, because let's not pretend we didn't want him. But no, I think Bama would kill for Jackson Dart right now because they got 5 scholarship quarterbacks and none of them can complete a pass. It's sad.
I think you see Milroe go crazy this weekend. He
might. He might run the ball a lot, and they might try to. They may bring out the old wishbone that Bear Bryant used to run. Who knows? But I'm until proven otherwise, I'm going Ole Miss.
All right. Okay, another game right here. Florida State at Clemson. I'm gonna go ahead and just let you know. I'm picking Clemson.
I got the Seminoles.
Okay.
I think FSU went up to BC in a hurricane force winds. They effed around and almost found out on the road. That was a look ahead. I think that was a look ahead spot. I'm going to give Florida State benefit of the doubt because I have watched Florida State play a real team this year and beat them soundly in LSU. So I'm giving Florida State benefit of the doubt.
Here's my only drawback on that. I think that they were exposed a bit up there.
They beat a real team. LSU is a real team, unlike Alabama.
That's fine. And you have questions about Bama. I have some questions about LSU. So with that,
LSU scored points against Mississippi State and looked like a real team, unlike Alabama, who could barely beat South Florida. So
this is what I have to say. Garrett Riley shines in this game. He exploits that defense. And he gets K Klubnik.
No.
Klubnik all day. They don't have the skill position they've had in the past, but they get it done. Lester.
No, that FSU going to roll in that game, man. I'm sorry.
You've heard it right here. Clemson by 10 on Saturday. Holla if you hear me.
Okay.
Hey, what is it? Say Big Papa Pump. Where my freaks at? Holla if you hear me.
Said, oh man, they're created equal.
All right. Let's see. Next game. We got 2 more games and we'll end it there. So we got obviously Colorado at Oregon. Oregon names the score. This is the end of the Deion hype train. It is the end of the Deion hype train. Listen, I'm going to say this up front. I think what Deion Sanders has done is fantastic. I respect that he can coach. Deion Sanders is not just all talk. He can coach. But the manufactured hype machine by the sports media is I've had enough of it, and Oregon's going to take care of business. Okay. before I go in on that. So Corey, even my own flesh and blood, Lester, Sean, my favorite YouTuber. Nobody is gonna jump on this bandwagon with me. I'm gonna die on this hill by myself about Clemson. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'll be up here by myself. If y'all need me, just call me. All right. Okay, so moving on to this Colorado game. All I have to say about this right here is Dan Lanning has not. I like Dan Lanning a lot, but I still have question marks about their defense because I don't think that the Texas Tech offense is all that is made out to be, but they still were able to put 30 points on them.
You and I both know that's a tough place to play, regardless of who you are.
Yeah.
How many times have we experienced, why is this OU team struggling? It's Lubbock. You know damn well going down to Lubbock is different.
Say, what's that hard hitting my head? Is that a battery?
It is different. Listen, this is Bo Nix at home. There's two types of Bo Nix. There's home Bo Nix and road Bo Nix. I despise road Bo Nix because he angers me when I want him to win. Home Bo Nix is like a Heisman contender. When Bo Nix is at home, he's great. So give me Bo Nix and give me the Ducks. See, he's at home. He got the crowd on his side.
Can Shador get it done?
Not without Travis Hunter. I'm sorry. You like that is like that dude.
But you got
you're losing your bet. You're losing arguably your best receiver and defensive back all at once.
Man,
that's gonna hurt.
My heart wants me to say so bad that Colorado gets it done, but I gotta go with Oregon. Yeah. All right. I lied. Let's go two more games and we'll be done. So we got Arkansas at LSU. Does LSU look convincing?
LSU rolls. I think LSU rolls. So underrated rivalry game, I will say. But this is in Death Valley, LSU.
And it's a night game too. That's what's
yeah.
Okay, last game, BYU at Kansas. This should be a really good game, honestly.
Oh. Two blue teams.
That's a 2:30 kick as well, and it is at Lawrence as well.
Oh, that would be a huge win. Are they looking ahead to Texas, though? That's the thing. That would be a big win for Kansas. I think Kansas barely pulls it off.
Kansas by a field goal. That's what I have.
Yeah, I think they barely pull it off. I just don't believe. Like, see, that's the tricky part, though. I don't know if the Kansas defense is up to. I'll stay with Kansas. Rock Chalk. I'll stay with Rock Chalk.
I think Slovis may take a little bit. It may take a couple of chances out there.
That's the thing. See, I'm not a like. Kansas went on the road and messed around with Nevada a little bit, and it made me worry. They messed around with the Wolfpack just a little bit last week. I don't know. There's a lot, but like Daniel's got to stay healthy though. Daniel's got to stay healthy for Kansas.
He's like Bijan. He takes awkward hits sometimes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'll go Kansas.
Guys, I got a bonus round for y'all before we get up out of here. I forgot.
You didn't bring up Notre Dame and Ohio State.
I was about to say that's exactly the game I was going to. Who you got? Who you got?
As much as I hate to say this, because I hate them all with a passion, I'll go with the Irish, man. I think they're more solid at quarterback with Hartman.
I think Freeman gets it done this week.
He keeps losing commits to people. He needs this win to like, hey, why are you decommitting from me? Dylan Edwards, why are you decommitting from me? Peyton Bowen, why are you decommitting from me?
That's a Notre Dame thing. That's been happening since Brian Kelly was up there, man.
I know, but Freeman need to like, boys, why are you leaving? Come and beat. I'm beating Ohio State on NBC. Come on, let's do this.
That is weird. Ohio State playing on NBC, but
it's a Notre Dame home game.
Yeah, so it is. Well, guys, there you have it. All right. You know, I'm dying on a hill by myself. You sure? Before we jump out of here, you sure you don't want to jump
Florida
on
State.
that Clemson bandwagon?
Florida State winning.
All
Florida
right.
State winning.
Okay. Okay. All right. With that being said, Sean, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you at one more time.
My thing scrolling at the bottom there for Twitter. Twitter, however long it lasts, it's probably going to be destroyed in any given month now. Same thing for YouTube. Oni Kuno on YouTube. I put out videos every so often, not every day because I don't like to force feed things. If I have an opinion, I'll say it. But it's the season. I do watch-alongs for OU games, and you can watch me watch games. Somehow people like that, but people show up, so I keep doing them. People show up and say, show the game, and I say, pay your cable bill, do that, or get YouTube TV, and then you can watch it with me. Pretty much, I have lots of opinions, and not all of them are popular, but I am a homer for OU, despite that, even though if I say things that are not as popular with some OU fans, but that's okay. I will be the Patrick with the chains on certain opinions on certain things, like, you know, the image, you know, just like, go ahead and bring me to court, bring me to the tribunal and judge me. That's okay.
Well, with that being said, y'all know exactly what to do. Go ahead, like, subscribe, do all of that.